Well, we're, as we always do, keeping an eye on shares of Tesla. By the way, I would add that Lucid and Rivian, much smaller players in EV, are also up sharply. This morning, though, over at Tesla, Elon Musk laid out his plans to cut jobs at the company. And our Phil LeBeau has the latest for us. Phil.
David, this is a confirmation of what Elon Musk tweeted about, I'd say about a week and a half ago, where he said, look, there will be some job cuts at Tesla. He was speaking at a Bloomberg conference in Doha earlier today. And here's how he says it's going to roll out in terms of the cuts at Tesla. These are salaried cuts, not hourly workforce, but the salaried staff. He says they will be reducing it by 10%. Works out to just 3 to 3.5% of the total staff because there are so many who are the hourly workers, and those cuts will happen over the next 3 months. Here's Musk earlier today explaining the rationale behind these cutbacks.
We expect to grow our hourly workforce, but we grew very fast on the salaried side, and we grew a little too fast in some areas, and so it requires a reduction in the salaried workforce. And we're about 2/3 hourly and 1/3 salary.
That's the reason Tesla shares moving higher. This is going to be looked at as a prudent move to do on the salaried side. As you take a look at the annual deliveries running all the way through last year, remember that we will be getting their Q2 delivery numbers shortly after the end of the month, probably July 1st or 2nd. And when they come in, the expectation is that they will be a little bit down compared to Q1 because, of course, we saw the shutdown of the factory in Shanghai as they had COVID restrictions in that country. So the volume there is going to be restricted, and that's why the Q1 numbers or Q2 numbers will be down, or the expectation is that they will be down compared to Q1. One other thing to keep in mind, you heard Elon Musk talk about the overall growth. They do expect to grow total workforce over the next year. Remember, they're ramping up in Texas as well as in Berlin. And this is a company that is still in a growth mode, though on the white-collar side, he believes the prudent thing is to trim the staffing for now. And he was also asked today, guys, about the lawsuit that's been filed in California by a couple of former Tesla employees saying that Tesla violated the state laws when it comes to mass firings or mass layoffs, and that there should have been greater notice and notification time before layoffs take effect. David, Musk was asked about that. Not overly concerned. His belief is that whenever you have anything involving Tesla, it's going to get outsized attention in the headlines. And that was his response when asked about that lawsuit in California.
Yeah, it was an interesting interview overall. Earlier, we used some excerpts. Conversation about Twitter. Story for another day. But Phil, back to you on the salaried workers. I don't know if you know this, but I mean, how much did they increase? Do you know how much staffing over the last few years has gone up amongst this group? So we can put in perspective sort of this 3%, roughly 3%
Yeah, I
drop?
don't have a total number, David. I don't have a total number. They have about 100,000 employees worldwide. So if you're cutting 3 to 3.5%, that means you're cutting anywhere between 3,000, 3,500, something like that in terms of the white-collar staff that is going to be cut back. But they have been growing aggressively, especially not just in terms like vehicle design, but they have so many software engineers. I mean, Tesla really is a software company. And as they have grown, it's only natural, David, that perhaps every once in a while you get a little too aggressive. And when you have the issues that you're facing worldwide right now in terms of costs and in terms of production, you trim it a little bit. It's not going to be the end of the world, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start adding back white-collar staff at some point in the future. This does not mean that these guys are cutting back permanently.
Yeah, it's a great point, particularly on software engineers. Phil, thank you. Phil LeBeau with Tesla shares up over 8%.